Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast at Denver Comic Con 2014 and beyond. I am Ryan, and with me always is...
James.
Hey, James. How's it going, buddy?
Good. Long week.
Long week, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Yeah? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I was looking forward to this today.
Me too.
I needed to relax.
Me too. We lied to our listeners last week, though.
We did. Not on purpose.
Not on purpose, though. We said that we were going to see Hercules because nothing else came out, but we lied. We went and saw Lone Survivor.
Well, because I think, didn't Lone Survivor, release a week
it
ago?
Did. You know, I was thinking about this for my list, and it didn't hit me until I was watching Lone Survivor started. You know, I didn't see Zero Dark 30 until last year also.
That's true. Yeah, Zero Dark 30.
Yeah,
so that's 103 movies I saw last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they take it off the list for 2013 because technically, I think it released in 3 theaters in the last week of December.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a national release in 2013, so it counts for this year. I mean, we did a show on it this year.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that. I'm like, oh, man, well, there's another one to add to the list.
Yeah. It's 2014, but I keep watching movies in 2013.
I know.
Look at that.
So I think Lone Survivor is trying to follow the same pattern and hopefully capture some of the magic of Zero Dark 30.
Navy SEALs in January.
Yeah. Because didn't... what was the other one, the SEAL Team 6 one? Was that the... Oh, no, it was Act of Valor.
Act of Valor.
That come out last year, too? Or was it 2012?
I think that was 2012, but it's...
Was that?
It was definitely 2012, and it was definitely early in the year. I don't think it was January though. I think it was more like March or April. But
who knew war movies are good for winters?
Yeah, apparently.
Anyways, if you never listen to Real Nerds Podcast, every week we go see a new movie and we podcast that experience to the world. We do that at the end. We will talk about the movie, if you should see it or not, play the trailer, and then we'll spoil the movie. Although it kind of spoils you in the title with Lone Survivor.
We really can't spoil it. You might as well listen to the whole review because. Guess what? Somebody survives.
Yes.
Lonely.
We also do upcoming DVD releases, box office numbers, movie news, stuff we've been watching, and a comic book. Do you have a comic book, James, or is it my week?
I think it's your week. I could have one by the time we get to it, though.
I have one. I couldn't remember if it was my week or your week, so I got it.
Because we didn't do one for last week. So.
That's right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I definitely have one, so stay tuned for that. I want to thank... our sponsors, Colorado Coins, Cars, and Comics, 6700 Waters Boulevard in Arvada, Colorado. When you stop by in there and you're looking for comics, say hi to Andrew. If you're looking for, I don't know, what do they call them? Role-playing card games? What are those called?
Either trading card games or, it's mostly trading card games. They have some, I
don't know the exact
deck-building games and stuff like that. Like Magic is a deck-building game.
Okay.
It's also a trading card game.
I don't know the classification, but if you're looking for HeroClix, Mike at Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics, I've been told by many people it's one of the few places in Colorado that you can buy singles.
Oh,
I didn't know that. I don't buy them. I do know that he sells HeroClix singles.
Yeah.
It says I was talking to him one day because they released a bunch of Spider-Man centric HeroClix. I said I should play this because it looks kind of cool and it's Spider-Man centric. And I guess he orders 2 cases and he opens one case and he sells those individually, and then you can also buy them in sleeves of 3
where you don't know what
you're getting. Yeah. So I guess there's some really rare ones. He told me in the Spider-Man one there was a monster in each one, so it'd be Frankenstein or werewolf or something like that, and the really rare one was Werewolf by Night. Mm-hmm. So there was a werewolf, but if you got Werewolf by Night, it was the rare one.
Yeah.
So
it's funny. I understand why they do it that way with opening boxes that and not knowing what's in it and all that stuff, because you're talking about people playing games and having an unfair advantage if they randomly get the really badass thing. All that makes sense. For Christmas, in my brother and I's stockings, my mom bought us these. She found it at Barnes & Noble, and it was a little Doctor Who figurine that was also done that way. So you didn't know which Doctor was in the box.
Oh.
It was just there was a 1 in 20 chance it was the second Doctor, and a 1 in 20 chance it was the third Doctor.
Yeah,
and
here's a new thing, I think.
It's shitty. And I kept thinking about it. I was like, dude, if you
What Doctor did you get?
I got the second Doctor, and you know what we did? We took it back.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, my mom didn't realize that's what it was. So when we got them, Jake and I knew, because we know how this stuff works. but she didn't know that it was just random. On the picture on the outside of the box was the Fifth Doctor with the big scarf.
Yeah.
Anyway. And she was like, well, Tom Baker is clearly, I mean, that's the one that James would want, and Jake would want that one too. Like, he's the best Doctor. So she just thought, like, oh, cool, this is, you know. And then we opened them up, and they're like, of course, neither of them are doctors we actually care about, so we wouldn't do anything with it, and we're not going to collect them. Like, how much more money would they have made if?
So you took back a present your mom got you? That is fucked up.
Fuck that! I made her take it back.
Oh, dude, that is cold-blooded.
Actually, no. Jake and I like humbly would have just been like, oh yeah, you know, this is cool, Mom, but she was pissed. So she was the one who was like, I'm taking this shit back. This isn't Christmas.
So what'd you get instead?
I didn't get shit.
Oh,
Like,
she
I
just took
got-
it back?
yeah,
Your mom pocketed the couch?
Yeah. My mom just took the present back. Like,
Nice.
yeah, I didn't get anything for it.
Nice.
But how much more money would they have made if they had just been like, oh yeah, this one's the Ninth Doctor. If you want the Ninth Doctor, here it is.
Yeah, they do that a lot. They released a horror line where it had Jason and Bruce Campbell, Ash from Army of Darkness, but it's the same thing. You have to open it and see who it is.
See,
And I wouldn't mind getting them, but those ones were like $7. So I'm like, $7. What if I get freaking, they're like Reagan from The Exorcist? I don't want that.
oh yeah.
You know, I don't care. I wouldn't care if it was Freddy Krueger or Leatherface, but I don't want some
And
goofy one.
But at least there, like, the chances are pretty good you're going to get one you really want. The truth is, there's only like 3 of the 12 doctors that anybody really wants. You know, like, there's not that many people who want one of those other doctors. You know, there's the people who want to collect them all, but those people could still collect them all if you just knew what was in the box. You know, at least with that one, you're like, oh, okay, cool. There's probably
Sure.
8 of the 10 you would want, but if you ended up getting 2 girls from The Exorcist, you'd be like, oh,
Yeah, that'd suck.
why did I get into this shit? You know.
But yeah, so see Mike, and if you're looking for coins, see Bruce.
Because what we're saying is, you don't have to
Yeah.
deal with this shit.
Because I really,
Your mom doesn't have to take your hero clicks back after Christmas is over.
I really wanted the Goblin, obviously, and a Mysterio, but
Yeah.
he told me those ones always sell out. What I found is really interesting, just like my Friday the 13th action figures I collect, those are the hardest ones to get. For some reason, Jason, because his look changes constantly, people always buy his action figures. As far as Spider-Man action figures, they make a lot of Green Goblins, but for some reason he sells out all the time. And same with
Yeah.
Mysterio. Mysterio is... I never thought of Mysterio as a very popular villain. I think he's really cool. I think his potential is really cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's in really goofy story arcs. Like in a Spectacular 50, he fakes an alien invasion to like freak out Spider-Man. So he is in really dorky ones, but every once in a while he's in one where he manipulates the mob, and it's cool.
I love the way you said that. Where he's like, he imitates alien invasion just to freak Spider-Man out. Just so Spider-Man, gets on top of a building and is like, whoa!
Well, it's...
What's going on?
Well, because
Like,
they're
that's
trying
his
to
plot.
they're
That's
trying to
great.
recapture one of his. I think it was his third appearance. Is actually a really great arc where Spider-Man thinks he's going crazy in this like amusement park where everything's bigger than he is, and Mysterio is bigger than he is. And then Spider-Man figures out that when he looks down, there's like hallucinogenic smoke, and that it's being projected, and he breaks out and he finds who Mysterio is, and it's a really cool story. This one not so much, but his potential's really cool. But I guess those Mysterio ones and Green Goblin are snapped up immediately. I guess because he's really dorky looking too.
Oh, so it is the dorky version of
Oh, yeah.
Mysterio. It's not like a...
Dude, the coolest version of Mysterio is with a globe on his head.
I really like Ultimate Mysterio. Like with just the smoke coming out.
Ultimate Mysterio and regular Mysterio are the same person. Oh, you never read Spider-Man?
No, I didn't read Spider-Man. No, I
You
didn't
should.
read Spider-Man.
Spoilers.
Ah, dude, cool. Is that just Mysterio with like his globe broken?
Okay, well, I guess I'll spoil it for you now. Mysterio from 616 found a rift in the dimensions, and he projected himself into the Ultimate Universe.
Oh, okay. So he never really got killed, or No.
No, he killed the Kingpin.
He killed the Kingpin. Yeah, that's right.
And so when Spider-Man found that out, Pete left him in the Ultimate Universe.
Oh.
And he said, fuck you. You're stuck there now.
Oh.
And now I'm reading the Ultimate's Last Stand, Catalysm, and it's Galactus from 616 found that rift that Mysterio did, and so he's eating the Ultimate Universe right now. It's pretty badass. He just ate all of New Jersey.
What?
Yeah.
Not New Jersey.
Yep.
Cool.
Cool. So, but I have one more thing to say.
Okay.
We met Rebecca at this year's Denver Comic Con. She works for a company that put out that app called Narrate.
Yeah.
She sent me an email and asked if we would share this with our listeners. And there is a new game coming out. It's a sequel to a game called The Tribes, and it's called The Tribes and Castles. It's called, and I'll just read the press release so I can give you the information properly. Game Insight, creator of the worldwide hit city building game The Tribes, is delighted to announce a new spin-off for the popular game The Tribes and Castles. This exciting new title will be released for iOS, Android, Amazon, and Facebook in early 2014. It's one of those like farm building sims, but it's like more badass. It's something like we would play. You know, I'm not going to play Farmville.
No.
But The Tribes and Castles begins with a scientific experiment gone awry. This time around, the experiment has sent players to another world where magic reigns supreme, where dragons hover in the sky and forests are teeming with treacherous werewolves. Fortunately, the professor and Princess Aurora return to help Prince Eric rebuild his kingdom and protect them from evil of the realm's most heinous villains. In Tribes and Castles, players will embark on an epic journey to restore peace and prosperity to the kingdom. Players will build and fortify magic towers to protect the citizens from enemies like the vicious Gobuls, powerful Trollums, and other amazing creatures. They will also develop their nation economically by constructing sawmills and factories, cultivating grapes and eggplants, and breeding pigs and sheep. An enchanting soundtrack and gorgeous graphics will bring the game's fairy tale version of the Middle Ages to life. This fascinating new city-building game will let players visit well-guarded dungeons and wizard towers, discover the ancient ruins of abandoned castles, seek mysterious artifacts, and wage war on hideous monsters. Meet loyal friends and fight cunning enemies, behold mighty giants, magic, dragons, and, of course, a beautiful princess in The Tribes and Castles. It sounds like kind of like a Lord of the Rings Command and Conquer.
Oh, cool.
That has me kind of excited. I just wanted to get that out really fast, and that's their press release, and it's, I guess there's 11 million downloads of The Tribes.
Sweet.
So it's definitely something we should check out, and stay tuned. I am working with Rebecca right now, and we might have something for our wonderful listeners to do something. It's still in the early stages, and I'll send her an email. I just wanted to get that out real fast. Stay tuned for that. Early 2014, that game is coming out.
Cool.
And I just wanted to share that was really cool that she gave me kind of like an insight and said, share this with your listeners. And there should be a banner on our website really, really soon to link to it.
That's badass.
Yeah. So thanks, Rebecca.
Yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate it.
While we're talking about stuff coming up, Ivan Pavletic, who's one of the local Denver filmmakers, he's got a movie coming out called 746. No, I made the thing go away. Uh-oh. There we go. Now we'll just a little dead air. Just for a little while. Here we go. 746 AD, Chapter 1, The Last Light of Ares. So this is the first section of his historical drama that he's been making for a really long time, or at least working on. It was one of his passion projects that he sort of talked about in our interview with him. And he's got the first section done, and it is premiering. I actually think he's premiering it somewhere else first, but I know that he has rented out the Mayan for February 5th at 7 o'clock. So put that on your calendars. Go check that out at the Mayan on February 5th.
Awesome. And one last little thing, Anime Land Wasabi, remember, is February 28th through March 2nd at the Denver Crown Plaza, which is basically right by DIA. And I don't know if I've mentioned it yet. I think I did, but Spartacus will be there.
Spartacus.
Liam McIntyre from Spartacus of Stars will be there.
That's cool.
I know. I want to meet him.
Yeah.
He's a handsome man.
Just want to touch his muscles.
He is a handsome man. Yeah. I want to get him on the show. There's a great...
Will he just be surrounded by naked women?
I hope.
Like blood? He'll just be covered in blood and surrounded by naked women.
I want to be like... It'll be like an orgy where he'll be like fucking a bunch of chicks, and I'll be one of those dudes who wears those weird masks on the side.
Just watch and not moving?
Yeah, and just watching. And then the chick will turn around and like slit her throat, and I'll pull off my mask and be like, Spartacus! Just for some reason. I don't know yet. I love that show. Have I said that yet?
Yeah.
I love Spartacus. So cool. Yeah, you can get tickets right now, animelandwasabi.com.
Cool.
I know all their Artist Alley tables are gone.
You know who's going to be there is Stan Yan, who does all those awesome
Stan Yan. We
love Stan Yan. Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
He's awesome.
That's, for some reason, you notice we're always put next to him when we do conventions.
I know.
It's awesome.
I walked into a comic shop recently near me that I walk in, and there he was, drinking his coffee, and I was like, holy shit, that's Stan Yan right there.
Hell yeah. So thank you, everybody. for giving us opportunities to share that stuff with you, Rebecca, and the Anime Land Wasabi people. We appreciate it. But now I'm actually going to go back, sir.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to last week because we got some fan mail that I was not able to talk about because Filmsplosion is so loaded with stuff. So here's fan mail.
Fan mail!
We got a couple, and I haven't seen this. Tay Peter sent us a message on Facebook, and I have not seen American Splendor. Have you seen American Splendor?
No, I haven't.
Oh, this is horrible then.
I know.
She asked us about our opinions on it. I do know of it.
Yeah.
I do know it stars Paul Giamatti. So.
And it's one of those things that because it's about a guy who made comics, like we should have seen it by now.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't.
I've heard many good things about it.
Yeah.
You know what, Tay? We'll make it our point to see it sometime in the near future, and we're sorry we're not the real nerds you hoped we would be.
We will get you an answer on our opinion of American Splendor.
Cool. So, also Dan from Ohio.
Yay!
He sent us an email about Uwe Boll. We talked about him briefly a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he said, in regard to your recent topic brought up about on your show, I've seen more Uwe Boll films I'd care to, and after In the Name of the King 2. I didn't know there was a second one.
I didn't either. I saw the first one in theaters.
Dude.
I know, right?
I would have thought it would be scientifically impossible for Boll to make a halfway decent film. So you can imagine my surprise when his newest film, Assault on Wall Street, turned out not to be god-awful. In fact, it was kind of good. I'm in the middle of a show, honey.
Did your wife sitting here on the show just text you?
Yeah, she did.
Oh.
Some picture she got on Pinterest. I don't know.
Bad form. Oh, we don't Pinterest.
I know. What the hell is that? It turned out to be not god-awful. In fact, it was kind of good. The storytelling was rather effective, and the action sequences were well shot. For you,
wow.
It must have been his second unit director.
Yeah.
This isn't to say the film doesn't have its flaws, but it's 10 times better than the pretentious tripe like The Lifeguard. Wow. I saw The Lifeguard, and yeah, it's really pretentious. Because it's not like...
Yeah,
and it's not the performance of Kristen Bell, it's the writing and the way it's shot.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
I saw, like I said, I saw In the Name of the King in theaters, and I probably enjoyed that experience more than some of the other movies I could have seen in theaters that year. Like, as bad as Uwe Boll is, like, I'm one of the people who signed the petition to keep him making movies back in the day, where like
it was like the Wrigley.
Well, it wasn't. No one
gum thing. I forget.
I don't think that anything like anyone like big was on this, but it was just that the internet one day decided they were going to start a petition to give to Uwe Boll to ask him to stop making movies. And I was like, no, fuck you guys. Like, I'm as a big Ed Wood fan, I'm like, no, like. He's allowed to have a vision. It may be stupid, and he may not be capable of like making it hit the screen correctly, but he's allowed to try. So, yeah, I'm totally gonna want to check that out now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
That's cool.
Cool. Yeah, that's it for mail. Thanks everybody who wrote in last week. They probably stopped writing in because we didn't read them. Like, you guys are dicks.
Yeah.
What do you want to do next, James?
Let's do news.
Cool.
We got some weird shit.
Real news.
It's real news.
Unspool it, sir.
So maybe the biggest thing is that we got, like, just before we recorded, actually, like earlier today, we got some news about Star Wars.
Yeah.
They cast Jesse Plemons, who I guess most people know from Breaking Bad. I was a big Friday Night Lights fan, and he's like on that show the whole 5 seasons. So he's fantastic, and the kind of person I would want them to pick. Mm-hmm. Like, this is along the right lines because he's a I think proven actor. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know what he's going to be asked to do, but he's not somebody that I've seen before and just go like, oh man, what a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. And also he's mostly unknown.
Yeah.
So yeah, no idea what it's gonna be. I could see him being sort of a young Han Solo type. I don't know if he's. I don't know that I want him to be young Han Solo.
No one can be young Han Solo.
Yeah, I'm just saying like that kind of a roguish space dude.
Again, we don't even know what the movie's about.
No, we have no idea.
So
yeah,
I think now that they've cast somebody, I think stuff will start leaking out a little bit. Just to get people because.
Well,
you have to get people excited for it. So
yeah, and I think they've said that they're not going to do the J.J. Abrams mystery box on this one,
Well, yeah,
or at least not for the whole movie. Like
Well,
this won't
because-
be Super 8.
well, because too, I mean, JJ is in charge, is directing and writing it, but someone like Kathleen Kennedy is still producing it, and she's kind of always. I mean, I was never. The prequels, you kind of knew what was happening in them. I mean, there's always the element of surprise, but you still kind of knew what was going on. So it'll
Yeah.
be fun. I like Star Wars, so I can't wait for a new one.
So we also got word that Gerard Butler was cast in the remake of Point Break, which I've seen like multiple little comments on this, and people being like, "Ah, come on!" Now I don't want them to remake Point Break. Let me make that clear. That is a movie that is silly, but of its time in a way that I really love it. And I don't know. I don't know if you can.
the FBI.
Oh man, I don't know if you can capture like the silliness of that story as well today. Yeah, because it is a movie where an FBI agent goes undercover as a surfer to stop a band of bank robbers
Dressed up as presidents.
I mean, they could be dressed up as something else.
They could,
Just
yeah.
the premise on its face of FBI agent goes undercover as a surfer.
No, dude, that happens all the time.
It's so.
I remember
so
at the end
silly.
where Patrick Swayze rides the wave he knows he can't ride.
Yeah, just kills himself. That movie's so good.
Or does he?
Or does he get away? Who knows,
knows?
man?
That's the Point Break.
That movie's so good.
Catherine Bigelow's Point Break.
Yeah. Oh man, Academy Award winning Catherine Bigelow. But the truth is, if they were making like a serious version of that movie, I think he could, because he is apparently for the Patrick Swayze part. I think he's a pretty good choice for that.
Oh yeah. Well, he got that work in the Maverick, so
Yeah, exactly.
So he knows how to surf.
He can do the surfer part. He can also do like the gruff but also friendly dude. Like he's a really versatile guy in that way.
Yeah. He's a good actor.
Yeah. It honestly, it is a little bit of a spark that makes me kind of interested in that movie.
Yeah, I'll see it.
Oh, of course I'll see it. I'm going to see all this shit.
Right?
But apparently I'm never going to see any shit with Shia LaBeouf in it ever again.
No.
So, I used to like Shia LaBeouf. I never thought he was terribly impressive, but like I thought he was pretty good in Lawless.
Charismatic.
He was charismatic. Yeah. He was charismatic. He's I liked him in the Transformers movies. I even liked him back in his Even Stevens days and like Holes. I thought he was really good in Holes. But apparently he's a fucking 10-year-old.
What is wrong with him?
I don't know. He's out of his goddamn mind.
Oh, I guess we should say that he announced he's going to retire.
Yeah, but he went through this whole thing that we talked about a couple weeks ago where he got caught basically stealing a story for a movie that he made and just said crazy things, and then he stole his apology.
And then
as
he
well.
put that like sky written thing pulled by an airplane saying "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Does he just not know that he's acting weird? That's what I don't get.
He's on drugs. I don't know.
Well, he's always had problems. I was reading.
Yeah.
Did you read the article about how Brad Pitt's all pissed off at him?
No.
On the movie he's shooting in Europe right now, it's a Brad Pitt World War II movie.
Okay.
And I guess he's refused to like brush his teeth or shower, and so he like reeks. So because he's trying to be method, I guess, and it's pissing everybody off that he's working with.
Wow.
Just why do you have to be so weird, dude?
Yeah.
Because we also remember we talked about that story where he was filming some girl puking, and then some dude kicked the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
I don't know what's Well, so this week he basically tweeted that he's not retiring from film, he's retiring from all public life.
Mm-hmm.
It just reeks of reeks of like a 10-year-old's temper tantrum.
Yeah, leave me alone.
Yeah, like and then of course he goes on to say things about like all his love going out to people who support him, and I'm like, dude, you've turned into an asshole. Like,
yeah,
you need to genuinely apologize for the things that you've done.
That's why it doesn't
like. I don't know why everything he's doing feels so fake, and that's why people are mad at you.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because his apology to the comic writer. If he just said, "Hey man, I'm sorry I ripped this off. I just really enjoyed it and I thought it'd be a great story to tell."
Yeah. He would still be wrong, but I would respect him a little bit more for it.
And I bet the comic book writer and artist might say, "Okay, just, next time ask."
Yeah.
Don't
Or
be a
how
dick.
about put my fucking name on it,
Yeah.
dick. Like
or just sort of
Yeah.
clown, man.
yeah, exactly. And it's just weird.
It is.
It's the kind of thing that we would usually expect from somebody who
Lindsay
is on
Lohan.
drugs. Yeah, exactly. That kind of thing. Or like a Amanda Bynes type.
But see what he does.
She's gone crazy.
Yeah, but the thing with him is he was so set up for success. Besides the Transformers, I mean, Steven Spielberg liked him.
Oh, he was
for
the
Indiana
golden
Jones.
boy. Yeah.
And now you're just going to be a weird dude? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Pull your shit together. If
Yeah.
I was his dad, I'd smack him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. This is like the dude version of a Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Where, like, seriously, his parents need to come in and be like, hey, straight the fuck up.
But, too, at least Miley Cyrus said, oh, that's just a character I'm playing when I go out because it's noise.
Yeah.
You know, so at least she's smart enough to know that she's just full of herself.
I don't want to give her too much credit, but sure, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just I think she's just doing an act, but, you know, whatever.
I think it's a stupid act.
It is.
Yeah.
But we're talking about her.
You're right. You're
Worked.
right. Yeah, but we're talking about how stupid she is. Anyway, that's news.
Cool.
Unless I forgot something. But it's the beginning of the year. There's not a lot going
I
on.
don't think so. They're filming a lot of stuff right now. So.
Exactly.
So some stuff will start coming out.
Yeah.
Just glad nobody died this week that we know of.
Yeah. Nobody I know died.
That's good. You know what? It's up. Let's talk about what's coming out next week.
Okay.
On Blu-ray.
DVD releases and Blu-rays. We missed a week, so I'm actually gonna go through a few. This upcoming Tuesday.
I have a thing already pre-ordered.
Is it Riddick?
Yes. Because I want to say, let's go balls deep and change your life.
Oh my god, I forgot about Balls Deep. What a fucking horrible movie. Oh, that's also the second movie of the year that used the phrase "drive it like you stole it."
Yep.
Which is a much better written line. Is the movie that you pre-ordered Lee Daniels' The Butler?
No, but I'm probably going to watch it, though. I'll probably go to Redbox and pick it up.
I'm going to do the same thing. Is the movie that you pre-ordered the remake of Carrie?
No, but it's probably another one I'll pick up at Redbox.
Yeah, me too. Is it Enough Said?
I have heard good things about that movie, but it is not.
Okay.
Enough Said is a James Gandolfini and Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, apparently the very last James Gandolfini movie. Is it Fruitvale Station?
No, but I really want to see that one.
Yeah, you should check that one out. That was a good movie. That was a really good movie. All right. How about The Spectacular Now? Is that the one?
No, but it's probably one I'm going to buy.
Yeah, I really should have pre-ordered that one. Is it Your Next?
It is Your Next.
Oh,
I do have
man,
it pre-ordered.
why didn't I guess that one first? Also coming out this week is Short Term 12, which is one of the other like indie movies that I really wanted to. I think it just came and went so fast, and I never really had a chance to see it. I think that's the only other thing from this week. I don't want to spend too much time.
Kind of a big week, though. I mean, it's
it was. Well, you know, there was that week where right around Christmas where there was literally nothing. And then we missed last week. Last week there was a season of Duck Dynasty, a season of Archer, the first season of Following, which apparently is coming back.
Yeah,
I just assumed that show got canceled.
No, it's really popular.
Oh wow, because it's okay. The second season of Copper, Runner comes out this week.
Did you see that?
No, I kind of want to. Is that weird?
Me too.
Mostly just because of Ben Affleck. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to see Thank You for Sharing or Thanks for Sharing, which is the Mark Ruffalo and
it's when he's a sex addict.
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow, yeah. That's also this week. So, and also Closed Circuit, which everyone forgot. Dude, and a book edition of The Killing Fields. That's a good movie, man.
Yep. My dad loves The Coal Mine's Daughter, making its debut on Blu-ray.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is. The Act of Killing, which was actually on one or two of the top 10 lists that we got last week for the Film Explosion, as well as the second season of House of Lies, which is a show that should have been canceled before this first season even aired.
I love Kristen Bell.
She's great. She's good. That show's bad.
Oh, hey, there's that Birth of the Dead.
Oh, yeah, Birth of the Living Dead. Yep.
Maybe I should get that one. But Brad told me I already told him all the stuff that they talk about in that movie, so...
Yeah, but it still might be worth checking out.
Yeah, I'll still check it out, of course.
Oh, dude, there's a Blu-ray re-release of Notting Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, all my money is gone. All right, I think that's everything.
Cool. Digital Bits, once again, supplying us with what's coming out.
Wait. There's a movie called The Woodsman, which apparently it looks like a movie about a dude with a hatchet fighting like wild monkeys. Look at this. searching for a dream, he finds a nightmare is the tagline.
That is
Oh
terrifying.
my god. What was his dream? To chop down a tree? Like look at it. He's just like
Kind of like Davy Crockett-y.
he's heroically just, walking out in like in an Eddie Bauer sweatshirt out into the woods with a hatchet. That's all he's got. Is a
Why
hatchet.
wouldn't you?
And like oh, maybe that's the string from the hat. It looks like he's an FBI agent with one of those little
Like he
things
has an
coming out of his
earpiece?
ear. Yeah, exactly. With the biggest money. Anyway, so that's this week.
Cool. And this is the box office numbers from last week.
This is the box office stats.
A 7-week movie continued its reign at number 1, and that'd be Frozen.
Has it really been?
Yeah,
Oh.
7 weeks.
No. The Hobbit was number 1.
But I mean, it's back at number 1 after 7 weeks.
Yeah. Which
First
that
time,
is
first
weird.
time since Avatar.
Oh, that a movie's popped back
Yeah,
up. Wow.
20 million, I think.
Huh. Must just be a Christmas thing.
That and its word of mouth is really good.
Yeah. Well, and there are people who are going to see it multiple times. Whereas, like, The
Yep.
Hobbit, people are seeing once and they're done. And, Christmas is a time where people see a lot of movies, but, the same movies.
And,
like my CEO took his daughter to see it, like, he's seen it 3 times and his daughter's seen it 5 times.
Frozen.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies.
No, The Hobbit, she's 4.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Frozen.
But see, the thing with Frozen, though, is if you make a good animated movie, you'll sell a lot of tickets because parents will take all their kids.
Oh, yeah.
So you have guaranteed almost 4 tickets every time someone likes it. So
Exactly, yeah.
And they should. That's
It's a good one.
my 3rd favorite movie from last year.
Yeah.
So, or is it my 2nd? 3rd? It was 3rd.
It's your 3rd.
Yep.
Yeah.
So soon I forget.
Iron Man 3 and Saving Mr. Banks.
That's right.
Yep.
Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, was number 2 with 18 million, but you know what? It's already made back its budget 3 times over.
Yeah, right.
The people were saying, are the Paranormal Activity movies, are they still going to make them? Yeah.
Of course they are. Because that's in the first week they tripled their money. Like, come on. They are printing dollars. Now, I also saw a review. I didn't read it, but I saw a review that sort of made it seem like maybe this one is different and revitalizes
Jeffrey Reddick
it a
really
little.
liked it.
Oh, cool.
It's
Very
one of his
cool.
friends made it, so
Oh, well.
I won't see it till it's on Netflix, and I'll talk about why I won't see him later when we talk about what we've been watching. I watched a lot of shit this week, so yeah.
Cool.
That was the numbers. I guess we'll talk about what we watched this week, huh?
Sure, why not?
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Because of the film Splosion, I went back and just watched some fun things on Blu-ray that I got. I got a lot of stuff over Christmas,
Yeah.
and I just haven't had a chance to fire up my Blu-ray player and just sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
I rewatched The Hangover Part 3, and I still think it's actually really funny.
That wasn't from this year, was it? Was that last
Yeah,
year?
it's this year.
Oh, okay, wow.
I still really think it's funny. It's
Yeah.
it's dorky, and Zach Galifianakis is really funny in it. There's parts where I hate describing comedies, but I mean, it's just goofy.
Yeah.
If you like the first 2, then you like it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, or yeah, especially if you like both of the first 2. I think there are a lot of people who like the first one and then just feel like it spins its wheels, which it does. But it's more of the same, and it's funny. Like
It is. And anytime Zach Galifianakis can act weird, it's always funny.
Yeah. You just have to know you're not going to walk out of it and be like, "Oh, this is comedy gold. This is so brilliant." No, it's 3 stupid dudes doing wacky stuff.
Yep, that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite parts is when he plays. His father passes away, and he's off his medication, and his name's Alan. So he always has these weird things when his dad says, "Jesus Christ, Alan, you're 40 years old," and he gets mad and he says, "I'm 42, Dad. I'm 42." That it makes it better that he lives with his parents. And
Yeah.
and then there's a part where John Goodman plays a drug dealer, and
Oh yeah.
Chow steals. I can't remember Bradley Cooper's character's name in these movies.
I don't know, Bradley Cooper,
Yeah.
the handsome one.
And so they can't find his car, but then he says, "Oh, Alan, let me use your phone for Find My Phone app." And I forget what he says, but Ed Helms says, "Really? That's what you're worried about if you lose your phone? Because, your brother is kidnapped. They just killed a guy in front of you." And then he goes on this long tirade about how I have like 60 apps on there, you know how long that would take me to download? it's just weird. It's
yeah.
like weird humor. So I really enjoyed doing that, watching that again.
Cool.
I also watched. I was at Best Buy, and they had the John Adams Blu-ray, which is a HBO miniseries.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, and it was like $12 on Blu-ray. Normally like $50. So of course, and I love the Revolutionary War. So
Yeah.
I have never seen this, and it's really good. I mean, the acting in it is besides Paul Giamatti, they have I can't even think of all the actors they have in it, but they have like Tom Wilkinson as Benjamin Franklin.
Sweet.
They have tons of great actors in it.
Yeah.
Justin Theroux, Thoreau is John Hancock. So they have a lot of, and they have a lot of actors that you've seen in a lot of stuff, and they're really good. You're like, oh yeah, that guy is in lots of things. The only downside of this, I've only watched the first 3 episodes, so I haven't seen it all, but it's directed by Tom Hooper. Do you remember who that is?
Yes. Tom Hooper's the guy who did the King's Speech and then that god-awful piece of shit from last year.
Yeah, Les Miserables.
Yeah.
So
does he only film the faces of people?
So if I told you, what do you think a Tom Hooper signature camera style would be?
It would be zoom in really close on a character and never cut away so that you actually lose all of the context and meaning of a scene.
And also that the camera is crooked.
Oh, I forgot about the crooked. Does he do like Dutch angles for no goddamn reason?
He does.
Oh,
and which is
hell?
really a bummer is to me, I don't know if it's really highly rated on IMDb, so a lot of people really love this show.
Yeah, well, a lot of people like Les Mis, they just don't notice.
And there are some great scenes, and there's, even though I know how it plays out, I love the tension of the First Continental Congress, and they're deciding if they should go to war with England or not.
Yeah.
And so there's these great, like, dramatic speeches and why we should and why we shouldn't, and the show opens with a lot of people don't know that John Adams defended the British soldiers involved in the Boston Massacre.
Right.
And so there's some great like courtroom drama, and then all of a sudden, Tom Hooper, he has this great courtroom, and everything looks so cool. And then all of a sudden, he'll zoom in on Paul Giamatti, and he'll turn the camera, and so it's crooked, and it's just his face, and he's delivering these like great speeches and getting these people to admit things as a lawyer, because John Adams was a great lawyer, but you don't get the whole context of it, because of how he shoots it, and it's just a bummer.
Man, what happened? Like, I really like The King's Speech. That's a good movie, and I don't remember him doing that in that movie. You know, I even remember can remember really cool shots in that movie that aren't that way. So I don't know, like, who got to him and said, like, hey, oh, you're doing a courtroom scene? Oh, don't pull the camera back and make it look in any way like, you know, lame-ass courtroom scenes like To Kill a Mockingbird. No. Zoom in really close on all your speeches, because speeches are way more important if you're zoomed in.
And remember, John Adams came out before all of that, so...
Yeah.
I think it's 2008, 2009, maybe 2010. It's not that old, but it's older than those movies.
I'm actually really scared now because it makes me kind of want to go back to The King's Speech, but I'm afraid that it'll ruin it for me. Because I he does do some close-ups in there, like when the king is actually giving the speech as a close-up.
It makes sense.
But it's because he's in this confined little space recording this thing, and we need to be in that space with him. But I also remember like when he's in the scenes with Jeffrey Rush where he's learning to get over his speech impediment. Like, I remember what that room looks like very well, and I remember the conversations with them being shot from a distance. So it's just, oh man, that's frustrating.
And I'll tell you a funny story about that too. It has a really cool title sequence where it has the snake flag and the first American flag like going, and I'm watching it. I'm like, oh yeah, that actor, cool. And then it says directed by Tom Hooper. I'm like, where do I know that from?
Yeah.
And I'm not joking. When it went to the courtroom scene and John Adams was giving a speech and it started like twisting, I was like, oh, that's who that is. And I was so unsure. I said, am I sure? So I pulled up the IMDb page and yeah, of course. But the show is really good.
It's still really good.
It's really good.
Cool.
If you like your drama that just has great actors just delivering great speeches and things like that, then you'll really, really like it.
Cool. I'll have to check that out.
So definitely check it out. I also, Brad's not here. Oh well. I also got the Terminator Anthology on Blu-ray.
Fuck! Oh, Brad's not here.
And I watched. I didn't have time to watch the fourth one, but I watched
All
three of them.
Uh-huh.
And after watching all three, I will say that the first one's the best. The second one is the second best, and the third one's the third best. But here's the thing that I think Brad forgot to mention when he was talking about it, because remember he was saying that he did not like the third one because they took what everybody liked about T2 and put it in the third one, but made it kind of silly.
Yeah.
I don't think, and I
It's
wish
a lot
he
of
was,
the cameos. It's the cameos that bother him the most.
I wish he. I don't know if the last time he saw Terminator 1, but Terminator 2 hits almost the exact same beats as Terminator 1.
I agree.
And I wish he was here so I could ask him. But in Terminator 1, there's that great scene where Sarah Connor is in the nightclub, and she's sitting there, and the T-101 walks by, and it's in slow motion, and then he starts walking towards her in slow motion again, and then Kyle Reese sees it, and he pulls out his gun in slow motion, and the Terminator pulls out his gun in slow motion, and there's that great tense moment, and you're saying, oh, this is badass, and then they get in that huge gunfight. Yeah, that happens in T2.
Yeah.
Remember when Edward Furlong is running from Robert Patrick at the beginning?
The box of roses.
The rose box of roses.
Yeah.
And then remember, too, in Terminator 1, in the same scene, where Arnold Schwarzenegger gets blasted out of the nightclub, goes through the glass, falls down with his head turned this way, and he stops for a second. And then all of a sudden he gets up really slowly and he walks back through.
Yeah.
That shot is in T2.
Yep.
There's also the scene where they're in the police station, and Kyle Reese is saying, he doesn't feel, he will not stop until she is dead. Do you understand me? Until she is dead. And then it stops. In T2, Sarah Connor is being filmed on the outside, and she's like, "Him, you're dead already." It's the exact same beats.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with it. I think they're both great movies.
Yeah. And I think that Brad's argument would be that, it is a movie about repeating history, which is part of why I don't like the end of T2. But it's a movie about sort of cyclical history or cyclical time, and so doing all of that stuff is actually really cool, and is something that James Cameron is doing intentionally.
Yeah.
I think he would say that in the third one, when they do those kind of callbacks, that they are more silly fan service than they are intentional, intelligent, stylistic choices. And I think he's right. I would agree with him.
But
there.
see,
I still like T3.
But see, he's also missing a point. I think he's harping too much on the negatives of it. Because I'm not joking, James. I watched them back to back to back.
Yeah.
I watched them straight.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
And what the thing is with T3 is, he says, well, how does he know that he, pulls that down and all that stuff? Well, remember in Terminator 2, he is teaching this cyborg this stuff. So when the cyborg is programmed, it's lived this history. So it knows this stuff.
In the T3 has not. The
T3 is the same model.
Yes, but it's not the same one.
It's not the same one, but he still knows this stuff because it's the same timeline. And also, too, T3 doesn't really play. And I'll tell you another.
I'm going to disagree with you on the timeline thing, but I think there are other reasons why.
No, it's fine.
I think there are other reasons why that Terminator would know to look.
And see, too, and this is stylistically where I think T2 is the one problem I have with T2. And I love T2, I really do.
Oh yeah, no, these are.
But Brad's is saying, oh, that one's just totally silly as T3. Well, I don't know. Do you remember in Terminator 2 when he goes to that one guy and he's like, "Can't let you take the son's wheels," or "I can't let you take the man's wheels, son." And he walks up and he grabs a gun really fast and he puts the sunglasses on. And then they play Bad to the Bone.
Yeah,
that's silly.
Yeah, it is.
That's silly.
Yes.
And right away, I don't remember the trailer for T2, but right away they're saying that this is a good Terminator. So
yeah.
So the scene where Edward Furlong's running through the back of the mall, there's no tension there because that Terminator's not there to kill him.
Yeah.
I don't know, too. Maybe I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
So maybe some of that illusion's lost. But I still think Terminator 3 actually has some of the best action sets from Terminator.
Yeah. They're way more CG, and it suffers from that. But
A little bit. It's not too bad though.
no,
Um,
it's more of a budget issue than a conceptual.
but what
issue.
I do like this is what T3 has going for it. That I think where it's just it's not better than T2, but some of the things that are better than T2 is I think it's edited better. I think it moves faster.
I think the main characters are better.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
I mean, I think that Nick Stahl is better than Eddie Furlong.
Oh yeah. And I think the ending is one of the best endings in sci-fi movies ever.
I agree.
Because you are just delaying the inevitable, and that the Terminator lied to him to save him is so great.
Yeah.
And it's sad. The ending is sad.
Yeah.
Because you're wiping out humanity. But I wish Brad was here to defend it.
And-
but it's
And I think that it honestly makes everything that happens in T1 and T2 worth it.
Oh,
because
yeah.
a world in which we just keep putting it off is a world in which those Terminators and Sarah Connor are sort of just like, yeah, sure, they're fighting the future or whatever, but they're not necessarily they're not keeping John Connor alive so that he can be this person. If we never let John Connor be that person, then there's no point to any of this fucking story.
yeah.
Like then basically the whole plot is based on a lie.
Yeah.
The machines came back to kill John Connor. Oh, well, John Connor never becomes John Connor, so why do they come back? Yeah, and as I've said before, I think it sets up what would have been a really, really, really cool
I'm interested to watch Terminator Salvation again because I still like that movie. So I wish I was awake enough where I could have watched all four of them.
Yeah.
But when you already have watched 7.5 hours of them,
I like McG, and there's really amazing stuff
Except
in
for
that
his
movie.
name.
Yeah,
how can you take him seriously?
I know, right? Because I genuinely like Charlie's Angels. Wait, that I don't know that.
No, it's a
helps.
fun movie.
No, I did. I don't know if that makes me take him seriously more. Yeah, it's a movie that I want so badly to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the helicopter shots are so cool.
Yeah.
Whole opening action scene in that movie is one of the best.
So I'm really excited, and I guess the very last thing I watched is I got a Blu-ray of Day of the Dead. Scream Factory makes these really cool collector's editions of. I would say Day of the Dead's a forgotten horror movie.
Is that the one with? Oh no, I'm thinking Land of the Dead. Yeah.
But it's the one he did before Land, and it's a hard one for people to like. The characters, none of them are redeemable. I mean, nobody. The one guy, the helicopter pilot and his buddy, they're kind of the characters you like in the movie. But the girl in it, she's kind of a bitch. Rhodes, who is the leader of I guess I should set the story. The story takes place after Night and Dawn of the Dead. So the dead have overran the world. The Lori, I think is her name. I can't remember her name. I've seen this movie so many times. But anyway, she's a scientist, and they're trying to figure out how to stop the zombie plague. So it takes place in an underground bunker. And they have a doctor there who's nicknamed Dr. Frankenstein, and he thinks instead of trying to exterminate him, because they outnumber us 400,000 to 1 by his estimation, is that we need to learn to live with them. And how do we learn with them? Is we reintroduce things into their life. So if he has a zombie named Bub that he names, and he gives Bub a book, and he's like, what is Bub going to do with the book? And he picks it up, and he knows that he has to read it. And then he also gives him earphones to listen to music, and then he turns off the music. And then Bub plays the music in. So he's learning things again, like a toddler.
Yeah.
But he has to reward him, so he gives him, like, human parts. So the doctor's off his rocker, so you really don't like him.
Yeah.
Rhodes, who's the leader, is the biggest asshole ever because his men are dying, and you see both sides. But none of the characters are redeemable. But when you watch it, you understand if this had been going on for years, the zombie plague, that you would probably start going a little crazy, and you probably would not be the most hospitable or nice person around. So it's a really interesting look at the world. The effects are amazing in it. All practical, all done by Tom Savini. You should definitely check it out. It's a really interesting, like all Romero zombie movies. It's a little it plays on people, and it makes you ask questions about yourself. What's really important? Because the helicopter pilot says, "Why don't we just get out of here? Why are we staying with these men, and why are we wasting our time trying to find out what the zombie cure is? Because there isn't one.
Yeah.
Let's just go live our lives. Let's go on an island. Let's start again." And it's a really interesting story. A lot of people don't like it. When it came out, they're like, it's too bleak, it's too dark. It's a really interesting movie. I like it.
It sounds more. I haven't seen that one, but I've seen Land of the Dead, and I don't care much for Land of the Dead. But that sounds more interesting to me because Land of the Dead to me is very silly. There's a lot of corny,
but
they're in a truck.
See, a lot of people feel the same way, but also remember it's his natural progression because he started with Night where they weren't really thinking. Dawn, they started acting like humans where they were going to the mall, and it was basically a play on consumerism.
Yeah.
And then Day, that bub starts learning again.
Yeah.
And he tries to use a gun in it. He walks down the hall and tries to shoot Rhodes with the gun. And so Land of the Dead is the natural extension of that, where the zombies are learning. And I think that's why I like Land of the Dead, because I've seen all the movies and I can see where he's going with them.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I saw this week. I saw a lot of shit.
Yeah.
What did you see this week, James?
So first of all, Justified came back this week.
Oh, nice.
Still one of the best shows on television.
I'm glad you introduced me to that show. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. And this week, you remember Dewey Crow?
Yeah.
One of the most beloved characters. He's not a good person, but he's wacky in this way that is really fun.
Do you think of him as maybe the Joker of?
Yeah, except that the Joker is actually kind of smart. Mm-hmm. Dewey Crow is stupid. Dewey Crow is. There's really no other way to say it. Dewey Crow is a stupid person, and so you almost. Part of why you like him is because you know that he's just so stupid that he almost seems innocent in a childlike way. That yes, he is a criminal and he does these stupid things that are wrong, but you still kind of root for him because he's just so dumb that you can't blame him for it. You just kind of think well, of course he did that. At one point he convinces himself that he has 4 kidneys because he just doesn't understand what's going on around him.
I only seen the first season. I do want to see some more.
Yeah, I'll have to bring you season 3. Or no, did you see season 2?
Did you give me
season 2? Is the one with the Bennett clan.
Maybe I did. I've seen the one where he's sitting down in a chair. And then I have the next one. I've seen 2 of them.
Okay, yeah.
Because he's standing with a gun on his side. I remember the covers.
Yeah. If you've seen the season with Mags Bennett.
Yeah.
Which that's still a really good season.
It's just a cool show. It's one of those shows
dark,
that I didn't know if I'd like.
Yeah.
But you told me, just watch it, dude.
Yeah.
And then took me a long time to watch it after you let me borrow it. But once I watched the first episode, then I watched 4 of them. I'm okay, this is easy to get into.
So in the very first episode when we meet Dewey Crow, Raylan talks about the fact that he knew some of his cousins down in Florida who poach gators. Mm-hmm. And so the very first episode of this season is actually him. There's a reason why he goes down to Florida and has a run-in with the rest of the Crow clan, and it's really fun. And I'm really excited about where this season's going to go because the last 2 seasons have been pretty dark. Season 3, the villain is pretty dark, and then season 4 is wow. So Justified is a show about a U.S. Marshal in Kentucky, and you learn very quickly with the show that he is secretly a very angry person, and that guides a lot of why he does stuff. And he justifies the actions in his life even when they're not always the nicest way to do things, because he's a kind of violent person for being a U.S. Marshal. And so the 4th season deals a lot with why he's angry and really looking into that. And so this season looks like it's going to get a little bit more lighthearted, which is good because they've also said that they think they're going to end it at the end of the 6th season.
Yeah, I was
so
just going to say that. I read that in
seasons
Entertainment
left.
Weekly.
Yeah. And at least that's what the showrunner's saying. If FX comes back to him and is here's a boatload of money, do at least 1 more season, he might do it. But conceptually, they planned it for 6. So I'm hoping that they're going to start not redeeming him because I love Raylan Givens, but starting to let his character grow a little bit in a way that's going to lead them into the end. I love this show. People need to check it out. It's just fun. That's the other thing. It's not, yes, it is a really smart show, but it is also a show that you can just sit down on a weekend and be
Raylan's a cool character.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
Even though he's kind of a bastard, you do root for him.
Yeah. He's
I guess bastard. He's
bastard is way too harsh.
Yeah,
it is more that he.
I guess he's angry. I guess that's the way.
Yeah, he is angry underneath, and that causes him to shoot first and ask questions later sometimes.
I guess conflicted's a better
Yeah,
word.
yeah,
Conflicted.
exactly. Yeah. He is always in the right. He just doesn't always know that he's in the right.
Exactly. There you go.
That's
There you go.
yeah. In fact, in season 4, there is a moment where there's this dude who's been going around, and he's this like mercenary who gets called in to kill these people, and they say like, oh man, he's killed more people than malaria. Like this guy's a badass. And when he first shows up, he's dressed up like a cop, and so he like uses that to get into these situations and kill these people. And Raylan meets him and has this conversation with him, and in the conversation figures out that like this dude is not legit, and Raylan draws down on him and shoots this guy. And right after he shoots the guy, Raylan goes, oh God, I hope I did that right. Because you're like, oh yeah, you just shot a guy who looks like a cop. I hope you were right. It's great. And then the other thing is, so I guess I haven't talked about this on the show yet. This year, after the film explosion, the last couple of years, what I found is that I really need to do something to sort of revitalize myself and get me back into really loving movies. Not that I don't, but it's so much work to go through all of that end of year stuff that it can be a little bit taxing on just the passion to want to spend your time watching movies during the week.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, the thing I decided I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my list of shame. So I started ordering Blu-rays of movies that I have never seen that I know are going to be good.
Was your mom seeing To Kill a Mockingbird kind of a push
Yeah,
in this?
that was totally part of it was and also the first movie I watched was one that I think was on sale sometime around Black Friday, and I was like, dude, I got to just go ahead and buy that because I had actually borrowed it from you for a very long time. I'd borrowed your DVD when you got a Blu-ray, and I still never watched it because the truth is, Schindler's List is not a movie that's very easy to make yourself watch. It's over 3 hours long and all about the Holocaust, and so you have to be in a certain mindset or have a certain motivation. And so what's cool about this is that my motivation is checking these things off one a week for the show. And I'm really excited about it. Like, Schindler's List is still a hard one to do, but some of the other ones coming down the pipe that I already have Blu-rays of, like, I am so excited to see these movies. But I'm also not going to say what they are until I've watched them. Cool. Because I kind of like the idea of coming here and being like, this week, for the movie I've never seen before, I saw this, and watching you guys go like, oh, man, you've never seen that,
Yeah.
That is, because the fun is, that's not fun when you're in a normal conversation, and you tell people like, oh, I've never seen this movie, and they're like, really? You've never seen that movie? And you're like, yeah, I've never seen that movie. But in the case that I just saw this movie for the first time, then you can be like, before I'd never seen it, but now I'm a human being, So, Schindler's List, the sort of problem with this whole thing is that, of course, my review is going to be, it's a fucking masterpiece. It's one of the most amazing and impressive and important movies ever made. Absolutely. The movie's really great. The thing, though, that sort of stood out for me was, I knew the acting was going to be good and all of that, and I knew the story for the most part, but Steve Zalian's script and the way that he builds Schindler and sort of makes him very much a businessman early on, and then just very slowly, and especially near the end, starts turning him into the person that he gets praised for being. I think that's fantastic. Yeah. And it's actually so good that now that I've seen it, it is a movie I would go back and watch again. It is absolutely a story that I would want to go back and watch that transformation. And even though it's 3 hours of watching horrible shit happen and all of that, like, now when I see what he was doing and I look at like the excess and who Schindler was to begin with and all of that, it adds so much to that moment at the end when he breaks and he's like, how many lives was this car worth? And the pin, that was so good. What a brilliant move on their part. Like to put that pin on him that I saw in every scene. I was constantly looking at that pin, and he's always wearing it. And then at the end, when he sees the pin, and he's like, "It's made of gold. Like I could have gotten 2 lives out of this, at least one life out of this pin." And you're like, "Holy shit!" Like that is really what we're dealing with. Like it's the script that really surprised me with how good it was. Because I think I was expecting it to be good, but good for what it was. Good for a movie about the Holocaust, where I was going to feel like, oh yeah, this is Spielberg's sort of passion project where he wanted to tell this story, and it is a really good story, but that the story was going to be pretty straightforward as far as like, oh, here's this guy and he saves a bunch of Jews. Isn't that great? And yeah, it is. But it's really the way that they arc that character and make that character so fascinating that is almost better than the heartwarming story that it gives you, because it's so well done.
Because it's not only the list, but it's the journey of Schindler as a person.
Exactly.
Because he doesn't. You're right. He doesn't start off as he's saving these people.
Yeah.
He's a business guy, but then he slowly realizes the atrocities that are happening. And you're right. It's a hard movie to watch. You have to be in the right frame of mind, but it's a movie you want to revisit.
Yeah.
Because it's well done.
Because it's also one where, yes, he spends some time, or I'll say it this way: he portrays the Nazis realistically, and in that they come across like evil bastards. But he also spends the right amount of time sort of using Schindler as a foil to sort of draw out, or not, it's not even a foil, but using Schindler to actually draw out little pieces of humanity so that we don't simply alienate them.
Yeah.
The problem with like a Hitler kind of villain is that we put them over there and we say like, oh yeah, those guys are pure evil and not like us at all. Mm-hmm. And even, I don't know how to pronounce the name. It looks like Goethe, like Goethe's Faust. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but Fiennes' character, even he, as much of a bastard as he is, has like these little arcs where you think that Schindler's kind of going to redeem him, but all you really realize is that there is some humanity to him, and then he goes evil again, and you're like, well, fuck, like it's actually worse that way, which is really good, like it's good because it makes you realize how real all of that is, just that side of the sort of hate, like. No movie will ever make the Holocaust side of that ever feel real.
Yeah.
No matter how good this movie does, and it does a great job, it still feels so far away.
I think it's hard for people like me and you because it's something we don't understand.
Oh yeah.
It's just like 42 or things like that. You don't understand that kind of racism or that kind of hate. I don't understand it.
That's the thing. I think I have a harder time understanding the like death and murder and slaughter than I have understanding the hate. Like I feel like I can.
Too.
I feel like especially with the way that he creates these characters, and like I said, draws at little glimpses of an actual person out of these like Nazi leaders, and even some of the regular Nazi guards and stuff like that. It makes it so that I in some way can see. Not myself becoming that person, but can see a little bit of myself in those people. Mm-hmm. They seem like people again, and then I can understand like, oh, okay, a person can get to that place.
Yeah.
Whereas, like understanding the numbers, like no pile of bodies ever feels like a pile of bodies, and will ever feel like that. Like the actual weight of that and the numbers get so big that even when you see them, they don't seem fathomable. Yeah. And that's all I'm saying is that.
Yeah, and like you said,
at least it draws out like it makes you understand that hate a little bit more, and then that maybe helps you understand the size of everything else.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, I can never understand it. I don't understand the hate. I don't understand why people would do that. I mean, just because again, it's something you're taught. So it's. I mean, I was never brought up that way, so I don't know. I don't feel that towards people, but it's really fascinating when you see movies explore that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why sometimes villains get a lot of credit when you watch movies is because we don't understand their motivation and it terrifies us. Because you're right, there's times when Ralph Fiennes' character is, he's trying to be nice. Yeah, and then all of a sudden he'll just say, shoot all these people. Why?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, and it's balanced really well where they introduce him as this guy who, will shoot all of these people. And then they just start introducing these little things that you start going like, wait a second. Are you going to redeem this character? Like, are you going to bring this guy around? And they don't. But they toy with it just enough to make you feel like they could have.
Yeah.
And in that make you realize that this person was not damned from birth to be a horrible person, that they just sort of made these choices and through their environment and all of that stuff were a horrible person. It's fantastic. it's one of those movies that's hard to even compare to anything else.
Agreed.
Absolutely among Spielberg's finest. Probably his masterpiece. Probably. Because it is a movie that like I also want to revisit because I know that there are things he's doing where he's things he's doing in the foreground and little things he's introducing, just little elements in the shots that I know like he's pointing you in certain directions. Shots would start. The one that I specifically remember is there's a shot that starts with a sort of a spigot in the front that is just dripping a little bit, like it's just wasting water, and then that scene ends up being about getting water to all of the Jews that are in these train cars, and it just sort of puts your mind on this track, and it's the things that he does like that I think are really brilliant in that movie.
Agreed.
He's working hard, so
yep,
it's a great movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm really excited to watch the bonus features too.
I thought I said the sequel.
Yeah. Schindler's List 2, Electric Boogaloo. Anyway, that's what I saw.
Cool. Fun stuff this week.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
except
fun
for Nazis.
Fun that you're exploring.
Yeah.
movies
I'm really excited to watch some of the other ones I got going.
I'm excited to hear them.
Yeah.
I should start doing what you're doing, and then each week we'll have a surprise movie.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do a fun one next week. I was gonna do another one about racism, so maybe I'll do a fun one next week.
Whatever you're in the mood for. That's great about movies.
Yeah.
We'll lighten the mood a little bit after all this negative talk. Pull out your long box and dig through your comic books. Here's Comic Book Corner.
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
When I move, I think I'm going to switch from short boxes to long boxes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I me and Lori are looking at houses, and I really want to get one that has a basement that I won't put my comics on the floor.
No. You want to get risers.
Yeah, so I'll have my dad maybe help me build some sort of platform I can put them on.
I can do that.
Cool.
I can build things.
I know.
I'm excited to move because I want to build. I have this plan for like a corner shelf. I really want to build it. It's gonna be cool.
See, I'm not patient like that though. That's the thing that always irritates me.
Yeah. No, it takes time.
Like that huge wall of shelves you see with all my movies on it.
Yeah.
That irritated the hell out of me.
Oh, you mean just building all these like IKEA shelves?
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna build out of wood one of these.
Oh, cool.
Because I want to design my own. Because I have a specific way I want it to work, so that like, actually this one is really good, but yeah, I'm gonna just build my own Blu-ray shelf because it's gonna be badass.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, the comic I picked this week, I when I go to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics, I always ask Andrew. I'm like, hey, what's good? Who knows?
Yeah.
And I'll always take a chance. And I was intrigued by the new Harley Quinn series. After I read reviews of issue 0, and they said it was pretty fun. And the cool thing at Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics is if you have a hold slot, you get 20% off. What's cool, and I'll let you in on a little secret there, is that Andrew will give you 20% off on all the new comics as long as you have a hold slot. So I got Harley Quinn 0 and number 1, and they're actually kind of fun books. Issue 0 is drawn by 17 different artists.
Wow.
And they break the fourth wall where they're trying to find the right fit for Harley Quinn. So each artist kind of adds their own little flair to it. And some of it's really cool.
Does the design of Harley change?
Yep.
Neat.
And it's
I like that.
It's very cool. So obviously they have Bruce Timm, some Adam Hughes, obviously, but they have Charlie Aldred does it, and his
oh wow,
and his work actually looks pretty good because he's not, and it's colored. So I'm used to seeing, The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of his, but his was pretty interesting in this. So yeah, the issue 0 is Harley moving out because she was given a place to live, and she's moving out because Mr. J in Batman right now he's missing. He had a big battle with Batman, and after the death of the family, which is another great story you should check out. So she's leaving, and she has a new place, and so at the end they introduce the new artist, and he's really good. I forget his name, but he's really good. And the first issue takes place at her new little place she lives, and it's like a freak show kind of sideshow building that the tenants are all part of the sideshow, and that's secondary. But there's a bounty out on her, and so these bounty hunters are trying to kill her. And so the first issue is her finding this out, and now she has to find out who's trying to kill her. So she kind of goes back to being, a bad person, and it's really interesting. And so it's well told. The writer is Amanda Connor, and she does a lot of female superheroes. Quinn's not a superhero, but
yeah.
And also Jimmy Palmiotti. They wrote it together. He did
Jonah
Hex and
Power
Girl, and he did the Mortal Kombat versus DC. He's a pretty big name in comics.
His Power Girl run was cool. That was I actually really enjoyed those Power Girl issues, even though I would always put them between other issues I was buying because I didn't like walking to the front counter with Power Girl issues.
But what's cool is Andrew is right, and he told me, he says, you should check it out. It's basically DC trying to make Deadpool. So it has a kind of a Deadpool vibe to it, where it breaks the fourth wall.
But not obnoxious.
No, it's not obnoxious. So it's an interesting book. I'll keep on reading. I added it to my hold slot.
Cool.
And I'll keep on reading it until I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
And then I'll stop.
It's at least something fun and different to mix things up.
But the big news is did you see that there's a leaked image from coming out?
No. From what?
The Amazing Spider-Man.
No.
Of Pete back. No, I'm.
Of the comics.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So my fingers are crossed that this isn't going to be some untold story. I don't think it is, because Dan Slott, who's writing Superior right now, is the writer, and Humberto Ramos is the artist, and he's a pretty big artist. Mm-hmm. So I really hope.
We knew this was happening.
We knew it was going to happen, but it was such a long journey, and
it's been so hard, guys. You don't even
culminating with a huge Green Goblin arc.
Yeah,
is really cool.
It'd be cool if you called it.
It'd be
really cool if you called it.
I'm hoping, because, like I've been saying for a long time, Superior Spider-Man, the idea, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't like how he's handled.
Yeah.
But I do like the subplot of the Green Goblin, figuring out who he is, and what's cool is the story that's coming out called Goblin Nation is the Green Goblin is taking everything that Octo Peter's doing and turning it on him. So he's stealing all his technology, and he's going to use it against him. So I think it'll be a cool story where the Goblin's going to call him out on his bull crap.
Cool.
And I read a whole bunch of 700 point something where they went back to Pete as Spider-Man, and they're not the best written Spider-Man stories, but it is so refreshing to read a story where Pete is funny.
Yeah.
And he's not saying, ugh, I hate everybody, I'm so much smarter than everybody else.
Yeah.
It just has a lightness to it, dealing with heavy stuff at the same time.
Right.
And that's the thing I think that's really missing in Spider-Man books. So, fingers crossed that it's not some lost Spider-Man story and have to deal with Superior.
Yeah, they're not just teasing you and like, we're going to bring it back, but not yet.
And ironically, the new book, Amazing Spider-Man, is supposed to come out in April. And the movie comes out in May. So
yeah, they know where their bread is buttered.
Yeah, the world's greatest superhero.
Unfortunately, it's not in comics anymore.
But the sad thing is, I always get previews every month, and this is a horrible thing to say as a Spider-Man fan, but Superior Spider-Man is always in the top 10 in sales. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I mean, it's still Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like,
oh well,
you're buying it.
I am.
And there's a lot of other people like you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's really testing my love for all things Spidey. But you know what? That's all right. Check out Harley Quinn, though.
Yeah.
And when I was there, they didn't have any more issue 1. I got the last one. But sometimes if you ask Andrew, he might have one lying around.
Yeah. And it's probably a thing you could just jump on,
Yeah. And I'm sure I'm sure he does. They still had a few issue 0s.
Cool.
But issue 1 I did not see. But again, ask Andrew. He probably has a few lying around.
Yeah.
Because he's always sorting books. Actually, I found an old Spectacular Spider-Man I didn't own there, just flipping through. And I asked him if he had any other ones, and he brought out a stack. He's like, yeah, I'm just organizing them right now. So you never know what he has. Just
cool.
ask Andrew.
That place is awesome.
Yep. So this week, we saw Lone Survivor, which is based on a true story. James, should people go see Lone Survivor?
No. I want to say up front that all of my opinions of this movie are based on the movie and not necessarily on the actual events, which is really hard to separate on this movie because they try to intermingle them so hard. But I don't think that this movie does a very good job telling this story. And when I walked out, I I don't know what I was supposed to get out of it. I've seen a lot of other war movies that I find a lot more enjoyable and I find a lot more moving than this one.
I'm going to disagree with you. I actually thought it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah?
I thought it was very well done. Here's a trailer for Lone Survivor. I've never seen a trailer for it. Here's a trailer for Lone Survivor.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've just seen I guess I've seen 30-second TV ads, but I haven't seen a full-blown trailer. But here's a trailer for it.
It's a good trailer.
I'm Petty Officer Shane.
Can he say?
Can you say it?
Mr. Patton, please.
Come on. Been around the world twice. Talked to everyone once. There ain't nothing I can't do. No sky too high, no sea too rough. Learned a lot of lessons in my life. Never shoot a large caliber man with a small caliber bullet. Anything in life worth doing is worth overdoing. Moderation's for cowards. I'm a lover. I'm a fighter. I'm a UDT Navy SEAL diver.
Listen up. Red Wings a go. Bad guy. Senior Taliban commander.
Shaw killed 20 Marines last week. 20.
Going in with a 4-man team. Axelson, myself, Dietz, Marcus. TV. That's a lot more than 10 guys. That's an army. This op is compromised.
This is Spartan 01. Radio check.
Danny, you radio working? The way I see it, we got two options. One, we let them go, roll the dice.
Second that they run down there, we got 200 on our backs.
Two, we terminate the compromise.
We cannot do that. I don't care. I care about you. I care about you. I care about you. Not killing kids, not feeling it.
This is not a vote. We're gonna cut them loose, and we're going home.
Roger that, sir. Roger.
You see this?
We're fixing to get into a pretty good gunfight. There's a storm inside of us. A drive. You push yourself further than anyone could think possible. You can die for your country, I'm gonna live for mine.
You see? God's looking out for us.
We're good, right? We're solid. We can be heroes. You are never out of the fight. Just for one day.
I really like Peter Berg, and I think
You see him in the movie? There's a quick shot.
Yeah, there's a quick shot of Peter Berg. I think the movie is beautiful. I think it's well paced. I think it's a decently made movie, with the exception of like a couple of falling montages that I think are too long for the momentum in that section. I think that technically the movie is really good.
Oh, yeah. I think sound-wise, it's really good.
Yeah.
It sounds weird. I've become such a movie fan that I recognize good sound mixing in movies.
Yeah.
And the gunfire and stuff. The movie it's a true story about SEAL Team 10, where they were supposed to take out a high-priority Taliban target.
Yeah.
And it's 4 guys, and they thought there was only 10 Taliban in this village.
Yeah. Hideout.
Sure.
We'll go old Western style.
And,
it's a hideout.
Knowing a lot and reading stuff about the Taliban, why people say, "Well, why can't the United States just crush them?" The biggest problem with them is there's so many tribes of these terrorists, is that they never know what they're really getting into. Like these gentlemen, they went there and they thought there was only supposed to be 10, and there turned up being like 50 or 60 of them. I'm not sure how many. And then they realize that they're a little in over their head, so they fall back and they're going to work on a new plan. And while they fall back, a bunch of goat herders just stumble upon them.
Yeah.
And they make the fateful decision is they have 3 options. They can either let them go, tie them up and let them freeze to death, or wolves will get them, or 3, kill them. And so there's a back and forth between the characters about what they should do. They decide to let these guys go, and as soon as they let them go, then the Taliban start coming after them, and they realize they're in bad shape. So the movie, you're right, is well shot. It's well paced. I think the acting is really good in it.
I think that these are 4 of my favorite like youngish male actors working today, like and underappreciated. The fact that like it's getting to a point where I think that maybe Ben Foster must be an asshole in real life, because I don't know why he's not in every movie. Like I am impressed in everything he does. Like how has he not won an Oscar yet? How has he not been in like?
I think it might be sometimes the movies he chooses.
Yeah.
Same along of Taylor Kitsch. I think Taylor Kitsch is really good in this movie, and I think he's good in Battleship and John Carter.
Yeah.
But I think for some reason he didn't choose the right ones.
Well,
for some unknown reason.
Two of the movies you're talking about are Peter Berg movies, and Peter Berg is the guy who got him a start.
Yeah, in Friday Night Lights. But
yeah.
I think the public thinks that they're bad choices. I don't think they're bad.
No.
But I think the public as a whole think they do. I mean, Ben Foster, I think the last thing I remember seeing him in was The Mechanic.
He's actually in he was in a movie just recently that just hit DVD, and I talked about it on the show when it came out, but now I can't remember. Damn it.
Yeah, the last one I remember seeing him in is The Mechanic. I'm pretty sure. And again, he's good in that
right.
movie too. I mean, he's a slime ball in it.
Oh man, he's great in 3:10 to Yuma.
And he's great in 3:10 to Yuma.
That's the thing. Like he's even great in his tiny little bit in 30 Days of Night. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite. He is the best part of 30 Days of Night. Yeah, that's the thing.
So it's interesting.
I think you're right. I think it is his movie choices. You know. It's Ain't Them Bodies Saints, which was that little Casey Affleck movie from last year.
And again, but I think he's going to be one of those guys who's always going to be in movies and he's going to have little roles in them because he's a character actor.
Yeah, he'll probably turn into a sort of a Paul Giamatti where like you actually get really excited when you see him. And he will eventually get his American Splendor where he's the lead and everybody knows he's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Man, even in X-Men 3, best part of X-Men 3.
Really, the best part of X-Men 3, I think, is when Logan is walking up the mountain and he has to kill Jean Grey.
I wanted to be a little hyperbolic about Ben Foster. It's okay.
But he is really good as Archangel, or I guess he's just Angel.
I think he's just Angel on that one. Yeah,
because Archangel isn't until Apocalypse shows up and he tears off his wings and gives him razor wings.
And
anyways,
I think that they then call one of the characters an X-Men First Class Angel too. But anyway,
yeah. Anyways, back to this movie.
Yeah,
I think it's tense. It's really I like that they didn't shy away from what happened to them.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting to see people's decisions that they have to make when they're faced with those consequences, because they knew that they probably weren't going to make it out of this.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where it's so full of tension before they shoot, where Mark Wahlberg's character says, "Can I take it out? Can I do the takeout? Or was it? Can I punch my time card?
I'm ready to just punch the time card." Yeah.
And they do, and it's just these quick 2 shots, and then all of a sudden they realize that they're in trouble.
Yeah. The action sequences are great.
So I talked about why I love the performances. I love the action in it. I love the sound design. I love how the movie shot. Why don't you talk about what you don't like about it, James?
So I feel like this movie doesn't make me... I don't feel impressed by these guys the way that I should. I think that the situation and in real life, it was fucking hell, and that these guys were beasts the way they should, like we expect Navy SEALs to be, and so I don't want to talk about like I'm so cautious here because I don't want anybody to misinterpret me as saying anything negative about these guys in real life, because that's not what I'm saying. In fact, I think that there are strategic issues with this movie where things happened in a certain way that really pissed me off, that made me feel like they felt more like blunders than simply these guys being in over their head. And it's in 2 things, really. It's in the fact that when they release them, I was thinking about this the whole way home. I think it is the shot of the guy that they let go, who is clearly actually a Taliban like asshole. Him running full sprint to get back to the Taliban and stop these people, and let them know so that all these guys come running into the woods and get them. And I think that in real life, when they made that choice, that was probably the right choice to make. But in the movie, it feels like they were 20 feet away, or that they were pretty close, and they could have done something to impede that guy from running so quickly all the way back. Like, couldn't they have you know.
See, I think actually you missed the point. There is that the reason they showed him do that is so you could see that because the next shot was of Ben Foster falling. They're showing that these guys are ill prepared to fight them in this kind of environment, where the guy they let go is like parkouring across these rocks, and I think they're just trying to show that no matter how good these guys are and how tough they are, they're out of their element in this fight they're about to partake in.
That could be, and if so, then it simply just didn't play that well or that way for me. Because unfortunately, what it did was it made me sit there and think of like, well, in that situation, how would I find, you know? Oh, I would you know, tie all their feet together like a three-legged race so that they have, you know, so it's hard for them to get back first, you know, just to give me that little bit of extra time and things like that then it would bug me. And then the other one is just the way that the scene where the helicopter gets shot down happens feels yeah, I mean, and you're right, it is this whole thing of like these guys getting into a situation that they shouldn't have been prepared for, and I just don't think I like that part of it. I don't think I like a story where the Navy SEALs aren't prepared for something. Maybe that's what this really is. And maybe
so you
when
don't like
a
story about real life? I mean,
yeah, I mean, it is. I think it's just in the way that it is portrayed, or at least to me, that it didn't land to me in like a, oh man, like they just
so
these guys got one over on them.
It's not the event for you; it's how it's portrayed in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can totally see, you know, them bringing in a helicopter and getting this and all of this and it not working and them sort of getting blindsided and all of that. Like, you know, Black Hawk Down does that. Black Hawk Down does that really well. And in this case, it feels so sudden. And then I think because of the big CG blowing up of that helicopter and the way it sort of marvels in that some way, just, I don't know, it felt weird to me. And yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know how I felt coming out of this movie, because I think my expectation was that the movie was going to be either a Saving Private Ryan, which is what everybody keeps comparing it to, or basically a Call of Duty movie, and it's neither of those. I don't think it's anywhere. I don't think it's a Saving Private Ryan, because I don't feel like it is a story that hinges on its characters. I think it hinges on sort of the events of the movie, and what those guys give up for each other. But you know, Saving Private Ryan to me is brilliant because of the way that it analyzes those characters and sort of the way that they are humans in this extreme situation. Scenes like when you find out that Tom Hanks is a school teacher, stuff like that are really what makes that story stick for me. Whereas this one, it is more supposed to be about that brotherhood, and it just didn't land for me. The performances are really good. It just, there's something about it that it doesn't quite hit me the way that I think it should have for that to work. What was great, I was really frustrated with the movie about halfway through, and then once they get to the village and he gets saved by these people, and then this whole idea of this town feeling like bound by honor to protect this guy from his enemies, that to me is the gold. That to me is the great story. That to me is I wanted the whole movie to be that.
And the tribesmen are playing like "fuck Taliban, fuck Taliban."
Yeah,
That's
no,
funny.
stuff like that was great. Like, and because when I compare this to something like Behind Enemy Lines, the Owen Wilson movie that I love, that movie does such a great job at making it very clear to you that yes, there are these horrible military guys in this country and even running this country, but that the normal people are not those people. And so up until this, like when there are all these lines about like, you know, because there's the one scene right before Taylor Kitsch goes up and gets killed on the hill, and he says to him like, "Yo, oh man, I'm sorry that we didn't kill more guys." And he's like, "Oh, we're gonna kill a lot more of these fucking guys." And I was just like I don't know. It felt very sort of jingoistic in that in that section. But then when we got to the town, I was like, "Thank you, like, good. You are showing us that, like, you know, in Afghanistan, they don't like these guys either, and that the reason we are there is not just because like there's bad people in the world and it's our responsibility to to kill bad people. It's that there are bad people in the world doing bad things to good people, and it's our responsibility to help those good people. Like, yes, in this case, they were there to kill this guy, but they were there to kill this guy because he was also, like, you know, he was killing our guys who were there to help these normal people who have these nice villages and want to live good lives. And so that's the section that I really loved. That was the point where I was like, oh, okay, this is a really cool story. And now I know why we're going through all of this. So I don't know. It's just, it didn't do it for me, dog.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, James is un-American, so...
Yeah, I know. It's turned me into a communist, apparently. Man.
Fucking commie.
Right?
My wife liked it. She cried.
Did she really? Oh, man. Now I feel bad. I really am. I'm an asshole.
You are.
I'm an asshole.
Yep.
I do, especially after they showed all the pictures, I wish there were a couple of Asian guys in there. I just want Hollywood to have more badass Asian guys.
Okay.
Even if they're not badass, just normal Asian guys.
Just
with, like, an attractive wife. You know?
Sure, sounds good, James.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that weird note, what are we seeing next week, James?
Next week... Oh, shit. Man. I actually don't remember. Let's do this the old-fashioned way.
It's the 14th.
Remember back in the day where we would just, like...
Yeah.
We would just do this on the show and there'd be dead air
The
and
Jack
everything?
Ryan?
Is it the... Is it? I guess it is. The 17th? Yeah.
Is it the 17th? Yeah, it's 17th. Jack Ryan.
Yeah, so it's Jack Ryan next week. Well, we could see Ride Along
No,
instead.
I'm good, thanks.
Or The Nut Job. Can you believe they named a kids movie The Nut Job?
I know.
I mean, that does clearly sound sexual, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Sweet. Dude, this is the best January I've ever seen. Are you kidding me? We're going to go from Jack Ryan, which hopefully will be good. It's at least decent. It's at least worth seeing.
Yep.
To I, Frankenstein, which
Nice.
isn't decent, but is definitely worth seeing.
Dude, it's Frankenstein fighting gargoyles for some reason.
I was telling you before about the fact that last night I was trying to convince my mom like why I was excited to see I, Frankenstein. And I didn't tell you the best part, which was that she was really frustrated by the fact that she was like, do they even know what, like, do they know the original Frankenstein story? Like, that's clearly not. And I was like, yeah, Mom, they don't care. They don't care. Yeah, and then January 23rd, we get a Jason Reitman movie, which is not getting the best reviews yet, but I don't care. It's fucking Jason Reitman. I will see everything he does.
So we're seeing Labor Day instead of what else?
The other option is The Awkward Moment, which is the... man, actually, I would totally see The Awkward Moment. That's the Zac Efron, Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Miss Teller.
That one's up.
Miles Teller.
Maybe we'll flip a coin.
Yeah, maybe. Or I'll just...
Force me to see the Jason Reitman movie.
Yeah.
Reitman, whatever.
You don't think it looks good?
Sure.
I think it looks good. Okay, that's the show. It's got...
Yeah.
Hey, I can convince you. It has Clark Gregg in it.
Yeah, we'll see.
What? Oh, man.
I know I'm a dick.
Sheesh, you're un-American. Who's now? See, now who's a Nazi?
Till next week. Bye.
Bye.
Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find him on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.